All right, so we're starting right away. Okay, so great. So I'm first of all happy to be the one taking you through this great course, one unit called political philosophy, and of course, impacts of this philosophy on our social systems. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would want first of all somebody to define for me, or rather, whenever you hear of this word philosophy, what comes to your mind? What comes to your mind? Whenever you hear of philosophy, what comes to your mind? Please, you can use any forums of acquiring knowledge, of research. Yeah, because mine is political philosophy, social, and the public what year, and the public policy. Yeah, remember this is Certified Public Finance Manager, CPFM, which is on QNKNQF level 8. Remember, degrees are level 7. So this is basically post-graduate, post-professional course. Very, very important course for those of us who are working for national government, county governments, all those people who are working for non-profit making organizations. They need to consider doing this public financial management course. It's quite key. Why? Because within this, you shall be learning what we call IPSAS, International Public Sector Accounting Standards. All right. And we know right now, these non-profit making organizations are really being pushed to get into IPSAS compliance in terms of producing their financial statements. All right. So I'm still waiting to hear from you, great students. Whenever you hear of this word, philosophy, like doctor of philosophy, all right, remember, philosophy comes from, these are Greek words, two of them joined together, philos and Sophia. So whenever you hear about them, I can't get started without hearing from you people. Remember, this is supposed to be a discursive class. You're supposed to discuss here, really. So as I wait for you to put your words together, because I'm so sure you guys are doing something, when you talk of philosophy, we are looking at this philos. Let me write here, and I hope you are taking your notes. They're very, very important. So we have here philos, meaning what here? Meaning love. And then we have Sophia. Remember Sophia, ladies known as Sophia, they are normally wise. Sophia means what here? Wisdom. Wisdom. So basically, philosophy is the love of what here? The love of wisdom. Wisdom. Stroke what here? Knowledge. Stroke knowledge. So I'm typing, and I will be able to give you notes here, but you can just have your high level notes. High level notes. So somebody has been able to tell us something here. All right. It has disappeared. I can't fetch it. I can't fetch it. I can't fetch it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you look at our governments, do you think that they are really very serious thoughts? Do you think in this case that we have got very serious knowledge that goes into running of governments? Or are governments in this case here run haphazardly, anyhowly, and then we get things falling in place? Why should we study this concept known as what here? Political philosophy, where we are saying that philosophy basically is all about knowledge. And yet most of us will argue, I'm so sure if this class had so many people would argue that in government, there is no, wisdom being applied. I'm so sure that's what most people will argue. As your trainer of this course, I would want to distance myself from that. Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you, If there is any place where knowledge is needed, where serious minds are normally working at the background to ensure that we have proper policies, proper actionable insights guiding us, it is in government. It is in government. Oh, great, Matthew, thank you so much. Great, it's in government. Now, if you look at, for example, how things are developing, for example, in KRA, Kenya Revenue Authority, ladies and gentlemen, in the near future, not very far away future, in the near future, like 1 or 2 years from today, we shall not even be making our own returns with the KRA. You'll be doing your business, and then at the end of the year, you get like that KRA has got all your mathematics. KRA will be able to do, for example, your own income statement. And then at the end of the day, they will be able to levy 30% and tell you, hey, this is our invoice, pay us this, or if you think we are wrong, prove us wrong. And we shall be able to sit down and listen to you. Now, if you look at how we have morphed, how we have changed, I mean, like the other day, I was getting a letter from my bank. Now, my bank wants to have our income, our financial statements uploaded somewhere and a link shared to them. Of course, they will tell you that it's central bank that is working towards that kind of a policy, but trust you me, they basically want a situation where, your bank will be easily able to tell what your total revenue for the whole year was. So if, for example, you have gone there in your income statement and you have underdeclared your revenue, the bank will be able to say, hey, no. So they raise a flag with KRA. Look at, for example, VAT. Now we are talking about what here? Auto-populated systems. Yeah, an input VAT here. I mean, your ledgers are now being done. Do you want to tell me that all that work is being done by stupid people? People don't love wisdom? No. There is a lot of thinking that goes into whatever the government plans. I know some things fail. And that is why people will tell you that, hey, we don't want in this case here, these governments. I know there are things that fail. It can't be 100%. But at the end of the day, you and I must agree that there is quite a lot of wisdom which goes into terms of, which goes into running a government entity. Lots of wisdom. And the wisdom, we are not only looking at like just the political class. No. Remember, government you're looking at, I mean, it's quite a it's broad-based. They're technocrats in government. All right. So then I have some notes that I would want us to look at here, and then I will be able to share them with you. Actually, I can even start by sharing them here so that you guys don't struggle a lot in terms of doing what here, copying notes. However, there are things that I will be able to say here which are not in the notes, which I would expect you guys to do what here, to have them jotted down, high-level notes. High-level notes. So I'm looking at my PDF. All right. CPFM. So please, I would really want to have you engaged as much as possible because we have to undertake this paper. And remember, just like those that I taught in CPA, like now I can see Matthew here. Yeah. My philosophy is really very nice, but we must pass these things on the first attempt, not second attempt, but first attempt, we have to pass. So please download. I hope you're able to see the notes here. Please download them. CPFM Public Policy. Great, Maggie. Good to see you. Great. Great. So in less than 30 minutes, we should have learned so many things here. Some great definitions. All right. So the subject is known as political philosophy, social, and public policy. The course is certified public financial manager. Manager. Yeah, this is a course that will be great for those students who are doing what you are in government. Government officers who would want to become managers, then they should be able to do what you have to do this course. So political philosophy already have explained so much about this. What is political philosophy? Definition. Political philosophy is the love of wisdom about how societies should be governed, what is just, and how this power should be used. The major ideas under this philosophy: justice. What is really fair in the society? How should resources and power be distributed? All right, this is a great philosophy here. How should we distribute this power amongst ourselves? All right. For example, we have various institutions. We have parliament. We have, in this case, a judiciary. How do we distribute this power between ourselves to ensure that there will be justice in the society, that we shall be fair to everybody? Freedom. In these many things of abductions here. I mean, what does it mean for people to be free? How should freedom be balanced with rules for society? Should we just let people go amok the way they would wish, and then we say that now this is what we call freedom? How do we balance the two? The law and the people being what here? Free. Rights. What rights do people have? Should everyone have the same rights? Or are some people more privileged? Like we know in most of these African countries, if you are rich, you'll be more privileged. All right, you'll be able to get services much faster than people who are what here? Poor. Because you are able to like kind of bribe your way. All right. So government, what is the role of government? Should it have a lot of power or only limited power? Different political philosophies, and I'll be able to zero into each one of them as we move on. So different political philosophies, we have, for example, liberalism. Yeah, people being liberal, focuses on individual freedoms and the democracy. And ladies and gentlemen, remember, this is a subject which calls on all of us to be very wise, to be critical. Like, let me ask you a question. According to you, this democracy, democracy is the rule of what? You're 50% plus one. That the moment in this case here we have two or more presidential candidates, that presidential candidate will be able to get 50%. It doesn't matter how they define 50% of what. So 50%, for example, of the votes cast, if there are a million, if you get 50%, 500,000 plus one, all right? Then automatically in this case here, you will be able to have your way. You'll be able to take over government, and then now you run the entire country. We can't say that we never voted for you, that you, no, no, no. That's democracy. It is force versus battle. Democracy is all about the majority will always have their way. But the way things are in Kenya, do you think in this case that this is really the best philosophy? Or should we also think about, for example, monarchy? You guys must have heard of monarchy. You guys must have heard of a monarchy. For example, Dubai. Dubai is a monarchy. Dubai is a monarchy. Dubai is a monarchy. So monarchy, these are those economies, those countries that are being led by the queens. Yeah, queens, stroke who? Kings. Yeah, which system do you think, ladies and gentlemen, is the very best, according to you? Is our democracy working? Please type there, is democracy working? Those are the kind of philosophies that we need to critique around here. I've traveled quite a lot, ladies and gentlemen, and I can tell you, as much as most of you guys will say these kings, these queens, at the end of the day, they may not provide the best leadership, democracy is also very, very wasteful. Very, very wasteful. You can imagine like now having a body called IBC that they are every other day role is to wait. For example, there is this vacancy in the political arena. Theirs is to fill. Look at, for example, the resources being used. Why don't we just agree that we have some privileged family? All right. This privileged family, we simply say that these guys will be the ones who shall lead us from time A to time Z throughout. Yeah, so that in this case here, whenever we have those people getting their children, all right, I mean, we should take care of their children very well because we know that one day these guys are going to take over. If you look at, for example, Dubai by 2017, they had introduced a Ministry of Artificial Intelligence. If you look at Dubai, today, if you go to Dubai, you can't get a policeman on the road because they're using artificial intelligence, for example, to govern jams. All right. Should you, in this case here, for example, collide with another vehicle on a Dubai road, it's very easy. Cameras are all over. The decision is made there and then. All right. If you go to Dubai today, these guys have what we call like e-pharmacies. You know, in Kenya, you've seen in this case here some doctor. Yeah. So this doctor prescribes drugs for you. All right. This big hospital is crazy. This doctor, if, for example, the doctor requests for lab, you'll have to go to the lab and the queue. You come back to this doctor. The doctor prescribes drugs for you. You go to drug dispensation again, you take more than an hour there. If it's in Dubai, these guys have the e-pharmacists, most of the hospitals there. All right. So you'll get, for example, some doctor has written for you some prescription. So when you go to the pharmacy, there are robots and they're able to identify you. Simply put your finger like this and you get your robot, which has got all the drugs plus all instructions. If you can't read the instructions very well, that robot is willing to talk to you. You can imagine all that is being done under the leadership of what here? A monarchy. Of course, I know that monarchies have their own disadvantages because of what a dictatorship, and it really, like these monarchies, you can't say anything against who, anything against these their rulers, All right, all right. You see, democracies, one thing that kills these democracies from America, Britain, all through democracies, ladies and gentlemen, they have a lot of noise. You'll get leaders like right now, we have great leaders being led by Dr. William Samoei Ruto, a PhD holder, all right? A man by no means who is very, very wise, all right? But now what happens because of democracy, wanting to please people around, these guys, they do politics from the time they are sworn into office all the way to the next elections. So I don't know how you view this, but to me, if you ask me, I would rather in this case here bite this, work with this concept of what here, a monarchy. And these are the kind of things that I would expect us to be discussing here. Remember, these are my own points, and I would expect you guys from your part to tell me, Mwalimu, no, please, Mwalimu, and mute me. I would want to speak here, and I would want to hear, in this case, here, proponents of democracy. Tell us why democracy is good. Of course, democracy is underpinned by this concept that the majority cannot be wrong. The majority cannot be wrong. But you see, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, majority will be wrong. Because remember, our politics is all about what your self-interest. So for example, if it's governorship, if a particular clan has got more numbers, this clan can easily say, hey, we shall never release this ball. The governor will always be coming from our place. All right? All right. And then you get, in this case, here, those small clans, which could be having very bright people that can run a county. They don't have a chance. All right. So we shall be looking at great things, ladies and gentlemen, here. For example, we have this liberalism focuses on individual freedoms and democracies as a philosophy. We shall be able to look at that. Conservatism focuses on tradition and maintaining social order. Those people who are conservative. All right. It focuses on tradition and maintaining social order. To them, it is the law that will prevail. Socialism focuses on equality and redistribution of resources. Tanzania unaita ujamaa. All right. And then we have here communitarianism, focuses on community and a collective well-being over individual rights. Say we are looking at the community, like the Maasai community is really big on this. All right. They have these communal lands, etc. We have, for example, a philosophy called African political philosophy, focuses on African values and systems of governance, emphasizing community and traditional what here leadership. So you must have heard of Pan-Africanism, that I'm a Pan-Africanist. So you'll be able to come back to this. There is a whole chapter talking about this. All right. Annotate. Okay. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please listen and listen to me very well. Remember, the subject is called what here? Just a minute. There is somebody who's trying to write my screen, and I'm trying to block, disable annotation for others. Yes. Yes. Now, my great students, please listen. From there, we go to social. Whenever we talk about social, remember, social is all about the people. Social is all about people. Are our people in this case here free? Is the system in this case here just? Fairness. Like the other day, I went back to my rural home, right? And this time round, because we were burying somebody, so I went back to the depths. I mean, the kind of poverty that I saw there, I could see some of my classmates in this case here walking without what here, without shoes. All right. Some of them in this case here, they have simply fallen into this trap of heavy drinking. All right. So there must be something that is unfair. These resources are not very well distributed in the economy. So whenever we talk of social, we are looking at the people aspect, socialism, people aspect. So social policy is about creating laws and programs that aim to improve people's lives, especially in areas like health, education, housing, and poverty alleviation. Like, do we have some great policies, social policies in Kenya here? Yes. We have the free primary education, like during Mwai Kibaki's time. Yeah. I mean, these are kind of the great policies that are supposed to ensure fairness in the society. Because you see, you and I can afford to take our children to very, very good schools around here. But what of the common one? Then give them free education. So that at the end of the day, this education will be an equalizer. We have healthcare, like now we have the Taifa, yeah, the SHA, yeah, universal health coverage to ensure affordable healthcare for everyone. With this kind of bad diseases ravaging the society, for fairness to be there, for us to be fair to each other, yes, we have to consider those people who are at the bottom of the pyramid. Yeah, bottom of the pyramid. I should not feel bad when something is being chopped off my payslip to be able to take care of those people who are down there, that pyramid. Especially if, for example, you are to work without corruption. I mean, even this affordable housing. Yeah, if I'm being chopped something to be able to take care of what here, those people back at home, in this case, who don't have homes. And then there is a very clear policy. All right. So affordable housing projects to tackle the shortage of homes for low income what here, for low income people. Social welfare programs like the National Social Security Fund to support workers and vulnerable people. Challenges. Quality. Despite free education, schools face overcrowding and healthcare often lacks proper facilities. This is the big giant. This is the big giant, ladies and gentlemen. This is the big giant. This is the big giant that you're looking at. This one here. This one here. Corruption. Resources for these programs are sometimes mismanaged, affecting their what here? Their success. Most of the thriving countries that we have out there, their leaders are not corrupt. They have actionable courses of action. If, for example, today you are to be found stealing, for example, in China, there are no two ways about it. You'll be killed publicly. You are shot. All right. Out there, even Japan, you can't joke with that. You'd rather steal from private sector, but you can't steal from the public sector. And ladies and gentlemen, you know, most of this theft normally happens where? Normally happens in Africa. Africa is where we have lots of theft. Wazungu kunayo, but Africa, it's crazy. Patrick, I like that. Really? Yeah. Patrick can easily give you the microphone and then you give us your own experiences. So you see in Africa, and at times when even I read my Bible, all right, there is this man in the Bible who was cast together with what year? Together with his generation. Is there somebody who knows the name of that person who was cast and cast with his entire generation? Anybody who reads the Bible? And I think that man was a black man. I'm sorry to say that. Because our level of being greedy is so high. Our level of being greedy is up there. We fail to recognize the concept that even if you are to build, for example, a house that has got 20 bedrooms, can you sleep in 2 bedrooms at the same time? That will be a miracle. All right. I mean, what amount of food do you need for you as an individual? Ladies and gentlemen, once we address this thing that all these things are vanity, they are vanity, then we'll be able to have a fairer society. Because what is killing us, you'll get one person amassing a lot of wealth illegally. I'm not saying that you don't look for richness. You must be rich. That's very, very good. But don't steal. Don't steal. Work for your wealth. All right? And at times I really wonder, and I'm not telling you to go and start living in those slums. You'll get somebody who is in a slum area. These people are happy. They eat mandazi in the morning, mutura in the evening. They eat so many things. Githeri, 2 plates of githeri in one day. Somebody who is in Modega, and I'm not saying that I hope you get my joke here. You get somebody who is in Modega here. These guys, if they take 2 plates of githeri in a day, they'll find, some of them will find themselves in Nairobi Hostel. Despite the, so where is the balance? You get another person, for example, they have taken their kids to, for example, Makini, they get 389. Somebody takes their kid to Kibera. Yeah, there is this Kibera school around there. They get 420. Where's the, I mean, I'm not saying that we become poor, no, but we must find a way of killing this dragon called corruption, and it's normally funded by competition amongst ourselves. That in my society, in my locality, I would want to be seen to be the one who has the biggest vehicle. This is what brings unfairness and fairness. So big challenges where we can't be able to really get these social policies working for all of us. Quality, because once we make these things free, then automatically most people will go for free. So we're going to have overcrowding in these schools, overcrowding in hospitals. So things at the end of the day may not work. But the biggest challenge, ladies and gentlemen, will be this corruption and, of course, implementation. There'll be implementation challenges. Public policy. What is it? Definition. Public policy is the government's plan of action on various issues like the economy. I mean, what are we doing for the economy here? All right. Security, education, and what here? Health. How public policy is made. The government sets priorities based on political ideas, public needs, and available resources. Political leaders, especially these members of parliament and institutions, decide on policies that affect people's daily lives. So they sit down and vote for whatever bills for them to become what here? To become law. The key public policies in Kenya, like in this case here, we sat down through a referendum and voted for devolution, where we are able to share power between the national government and our county government. So services are closer to the people. You see, like, this was supposed to be a very good policy. But let me ask you a question. Is devolution working in Kenya? Is devolution working in Kenya? this is a very good course. If I was a young man today, actually, even at my age, this is a course I must do. Yeah. Actually, I'll endeavor this time around to do it so that I become among the first people. So I will be teaching you guys as I also study for my own exams. I have to do this course. It's a great course. What again is killing this great public policy called devolution, ladies and gentlemen, is what here? Corruption. Instead of us devolving resources, devolving services closer to the people, we devolved corruption. We devolved corruption. All right. If corruption was not to be there, if corruption was to be at, say, 10% or even 5% or even zero, best is zero, I'm telling you, devolution would really, really work, and it would have had so many advantages. This thing of rural urban immigration, it is some migration. I mean, it's something we need to check. Why are we overcrowding all of us at the center? All right. Like even today, why should I be in Nairobi when I'm teaching you? I should be back home because I mean, I'm teaching you online. But because I've been made to just think that Nairobi is the very best, or those of you, for example, who are in Kisumu, I mean, you're not in the depth of your rural homes. You're operating from the town. If devolution was to work very, very well, would have devolved these resources very well, and then we get good managers, then everything would have really worked. This is one of those greatest policies. All right. So we have here devolution. We have the big four agenda, a government plan focusing on affordable housing, universal healthcare, manufacturing, and food, water, food security. So like now, affordable housing is a major thing. And I can assure you, if it were not for corruption, affordable housing today would be a big thing. But I mean, there is no clear policy. Number one, you are telling us that you are chopping our salaries, all right? All right. And then when it comes to us buying those houses, you'll not even be able to give us a waiver over our monies that you have taken from our salaries. I mean, there's ambiguity there. That's ambiguity. That's an ambiguous plan, ambiguous policy, all right? That I may end up contributing, I contribute. And then at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, there is a possibility that I may not even have that house. Like, honestly speaking, why would you chop someone's money for affordable housing and this guy is 58 years? Knowing very well that over those 2 years he's left to retire, he will not have contributed anything to warrant him get a house. So government has got very, very good plans. And I can assure you, from what we spoke about philosophy, they normally take a lot of time to come up with what, yeah, some of these great policies, but implementation, all right? The concept of stakeholder participation, it's never done very, very well. There's a lot of bulldozing of things, anti-corruption efforts, policies to fight corruption within the government, like ethics and the anti-corruption commission. Somebody was telling me the day that this ESCC nowadays is a toothless dog. Economic growth, policies to support job creation, infrastructure, and reducing what year poverty. Challenges in policy making. So challenges in policy making, challenges in policy making, challenges in policy making, implementation. So even if policies are good, they often fail due to poor execution, corruption, and lack of what here? Resources. Like now, honestly, you can see like, I mean, where the affordable housing is taking us, I mean, it's not moving really very, very well. They must be lacking what here? Resources, because of course, most of the money that are chopped from our pay slips, they may not be ending in people's pockets, but I mean, they are misplaced. So you get in this case here, for example, priority-wise, this not all the money will go to this affordable housing. Political influence. Politicians may shape policies to serve their interests, not public good. Social economic inequality. Some people still suffer from poverty and lack access to basic services despite the policies. Connection between political philosophy, social policy, and public policy. Political philosophy guides. Remember, we are the ones who are doing research and development. Yeah. So we do a lot of research here. The values and the principles behind creating policies. All right. To ensure that these policies are fair, just, and enable equity, equality. Social policy, social is people, aims to improve people's lives based on their political values, e.g. providing education and healthcare. Then we have public policy, the government's concrete actions to implement social, political, and address real world issues like poverty, inequality, and development. In Kenya, political philosophies such as liberalism, individual freedom, socialism, equality, and African communalism, community values, influence the design of policies to improve the lives of its citizens. Conclusion, political philosophy helps us think. It's about wisdom. It's about knowledge. Helps us think about what is fair, just, and how society should be organized. Social policy addresses real needs like education, healthcare, and housing, aiming to improve the well-being of citizens. Public policy, we must talk about actions. So in this case here, we have is the government's response to societal issues, and is shaped by political philosophies and social needs. To create effective policies, Kenya, like many other countries, must ensure that the ideas from political philosophy are reflected in the way policies are made, ensuring fairness, equality, and justice for all. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is all from me today, and I'm happy to be having FCPA Mary Koki. FCPA Mary Koki, she's the one who is in charge of this program. Actually, she's the one who faced me and told me, Mwalimu, we need to start this new program here. All right. So you can even say it is her program. All right. But I'll be taking one paper, and of course, with the permission, I should take this political philosophy. Do you think in this case here I'm able to teach this paper? Do you think I have that capability, or should I go back to AFM? The best. Oh, great. Thank you so much. Great, 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 great. So then now you have to give us the numbers. You guys must give us the numbers. Great, yeah. You guys must give us the numbers. There is no way we can teach ourselves. So please get out of your way. Look for these numbers for us. Our enquiries number is 0719 525,000. 0719 525,000. Get registered with us. We are charging one paper 6,500. But I think we should be able to introduce like how at times we do for CPA, some small discount if students are able to pay within a particular duration, so they can get enough numbers. Otherwise, from me to you is, it has Honorable Nick. Good to see you, Honorable. Great. Now, I would really wish to have all honorables doing this paper, doing this certificate, because now we want a great society. And to have a great society, all honorables in Kenya, people who are CECs in the county government, like FCPA Mary Koki was the CEC for Makueni County over 10 years, for 10 years. Yeah, you can see we have got two modules for this paper, module 1, module 2. All right. So this semester you're only doing these 5 module 1 papers, and they're not hard. You can combine all of them, finish them. All right. So this is 5,000, 5,000. If we say, for example, somebody who is paying for all of them at once, we give them like each paper at 5,000. If you're paying for all the papers at once, 5 papers, and of course you can pay for them in terms of installments. But if you're paying for the 5 papers, then you pay 5,000 for each one of them. What do we make it 4,000? No, we have to consult with the FCPA. Because also we are looking at the caliber of lecturers you want to bring. Yeah, want to bring high caliber lecturers here. Very soon, we shall be bringing Kivuda Kibwana, professor, all right, to even address us. Because that guy, I mean, in terms of this public policy, public philosophy, how to run county governments, national governments, the guy is really up there. Yeah, Alicia is saying something very important. Minimum papers, there are three papers. All right. Online, yes, it's online. Don't have it physically, it's online. So I would want us, ladies and gentlemen, to stop there. And the most important thing is that we have to register. So far, we have how many students? 3. 3 is a small number, really. 3 is a small number. I expect to get over 30 students paying. Remember, our pay bill is 62.42, 839. Our pay bill is 62.42, 839. Account number, you simply write CPFM. Exam body, Patrick, thanks for asking. It is KASNEB, the mighty KASNEB. The mighty KASNEB. Otherwise, thank you very much. Good night. All the best as you plan to join us. Thank you. The deadline for booking exams with KASNEB, just like CPA. Just like CPA. If it's 15th February, it's 15th February. Everything is well aligned with CPA. Exams, the first cohort to do this exam, and I'm happy to be one of the students, will be this April. April is when we shall be doing our first exams, just like CPA. CPA, we have April exams. Yeah, it will be appearing soon. It will be appearing soon. Already there are students who have registered. They already have students who have registered. Yeah, kujituma sasa. That is it. Thank you, Patrick. Yeah, if you're paying for all the papers, 5K per paper is good. Can I do it before I clear BDA? If you have a degree, if you have a basic undergraduate degree, they will be able to accept you do this before you clear BDA. Yeah, be among the first people in government to do this course. Be among the first people in government to do this course. Thank you so much. If you're doing less than 5, then you pay the 6,500 per paper fancy, 6,500 per paper. Great. Thank you so much, CPO Maggie. Be blessed. With the BDA, do I qualify? Yes, you qualify. Yes, you qualify. So long as you've finished your CPA, meaning BDA, even before you do the simulations, you qualify to start doing this. You guys have great questions, but because I have another class, I request to disappear. Is it only applicable to government officers? Yes. And of course, for those of us who would want to work or consult for government in the future. Yes, Patrick Ninja, Chief Ninja, thank you. Let me, in this case, jump to another class, please. Okay, bye.